Oh, he was with us.
Seal Masters folded up in '69.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Then we went to Home Savings,
no, the Blue Seals,
or Blue Seals, yeah.
and then it was Annixter,
See how you forget all
and
the
then
stuff?
Home Savings, Bill. I think I was done in
You mean we played in Annixter before and then went to Home Savings, or Home Savings and then?
72 was Annixter, Frankie. 71 was the Blue
seven-
Seals.
No, wait a minute.
70 was
70 was Blue Seals, 71 was Annixter, yeah.
Yeah,
Then Home Savings, yeah.
Yeah,
Home Savings was the last one.
right,
Yeah.
72.
And I stayed, Chrissy stayed till 76.
No, I don't,
I think, yeah, I left after 75, and then
You left after Hayward, after the Hayward tournament out there, the net ESA?
I don't remember
That was
Hayward.
the
Well, Home
75.
Savings was
Did
the
you left-
last time
Did
I
you play in
think.
76?
No,
76 was
70.
downtown.
no,
I didn't play in Hayward.
No, you played into 73, I think. I think,
yeah, 75 was my last bill, yeah, last year, yeah.
okay, Chrissy was what, one more year?
I
Chrissy
think so.
stayed a little longer, yeah.
I think Harvey played through 77 and then I think he quit. Did
That's,
you
you and I think
you
it
were
was
out of Midland?
77.
That was when Hutch didn't go that last game.
Well, I thought Annixter was our last ones together, no?
No,
Because I played
Frankie,
with you at for Home Savings.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right,
Billy-
that's right. We
Billy's
played
right.
Annixter and then Home Savings come in.
Yeah, they just used the field. I mean, they used Aurora
Yeah.
as a field. Let's say park, but
now Colorado,
Colorado, yeah.
Colorado. That was God. I don't remember who we were.
I
playing.
remember
It was a
that
tight
one.
game, as I remember.
Yeah.
I ended up getting up, thrown to third. Who's playing short? Were you playing short at the time?
Yeah.
You turned it through to Beeve at second. Got the guy, doubled him off,
Yeah.
and we were out of the inning.
that should have, they should have had that one on television, that catch, but that was a great catch,
That was-
Billy.
We had some good seasons.
I remember I always used to tell that Lynch when we'd face them left-handed speedster, I said, Jesus, Joe, quit throwing them damn drops to them guys. You know, they look at me and they'd lick their chops, you know, because all I had to do was hit it and I couldn't come in and pick it up and throw and get them.
They chop it down.
Oh, and
then we-
Lynch used to tell me, shut up and play short. And I'd say, throw race balls to those little left-handers.
Yeah, make
Jesus.
them pop up. Make
God.
them up. At least you have a chance to get
Oh,
underneath.
God, he used to get so mad at me when I'd yell at him for that. Remember? Christ, how you gonna get a speedster left-hander when he drop balls? That's just what they want, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
All right, I have the opening question,
All right.
and you talk to Bill and talks among yourself.
Yeah, talk
and
to me.
Cameron's not here.
Okay, Kev.
What was it like playing with each other?
Terrible.
Nightmare.
No, it was very good, very good.
Yeah,
We all got along together.
A lot of
We all-
fun, yeah.
Yeah, we and Joe Lynch, we'd take turns on road trips, rooming with each other. There was only two of us to a room, you know, and we'd switch around, the four of us.
I always would say, "Who wants me?" And I never heard anything, Bill.
And nobody ever
Chrissy,
wanted him.
Frankie,
Last empty bill.
so.
Nobody
I went
ever
with-
wanted Barron because you couldn't sleep. Because he'd have something going all the time, right, Twink?
He had the TV on all the time. You get up and turn it off, he'd wake up and turn it on.
They
Yeah,
had
it
a
was
lot
always
of
something. and he-
camaraderie on the field, a good team, and good times in the clubhouse and on road trips. We had a good relationship.
We don't want to talk about what you used to do on the road, though, do we?
Good camaraderie.
Good
We'd have
relationship.
to cut that out.
Yeah.
You'll have to edit.
I give a little bit.
But let's face it, you guys, the times you guys played, you guys did very well. You know,
We had a good pitcher.
you had good pitching, right?
Yeah.
But you had to have more than that
Yeah.
to win games.
It helped. The pitching
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
and
That's
that
true.
fast pitching was
Yeah.
a big percentage.
What was it like playing on those teams with such great teammates, but a great team?
Well, we were fortunate, Bill, Kev, we were fortunate because we were lucky to be on one of the best teams in the country, you know. It was a good opportunity, you know, good players, nice guys, and a lot of us worked together at SA, you know. But, yeah, it was fun
And
and enjoyable, yeah.
able to play good competition. We had good
Yeah.
sponsors. And a
Yeah.
lot of other teams had too back in those years. And we were prime time. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, we worked together and then played ball together. Yeah, it's a wonder that there wasn't a lot more fights than there was, between us.
Yeah, different personalities,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
it doesn't work out, but it sounds like it did work out in your
Yeah.
cases.
When I came, Bill, everybody had worked at SA except Bob Farney, the center fielder, and Ned Wickersham. They worked outside I think Stevens Adamson would hire them and taken them, with job opportunity, but they worked outside. But the rest of us were all with Stevens Adamson.
Why was Stevens Adamson such a good sponsor?
Oh, Kev, because Bill, because of Mr. Hurtt, being the president of the company, and he loved softball, and we were his private group, more or less. He took care of the ball players, and anytime you had a problem, a personal problem or a family problem or so, you could go in Mr. Hurt's office and sit down and talk to him, and he just calmed you down. He was a wonderful man,
Yeah.
and we talked to him anytime. He loved the ball players and softball. He wanted to prove that he had the best team in the country. We came close one time. I remember one time, I don't know if Chrissy and Frankie were there, but I think they had the California Nighthawks, Bill, the best team out there. That was in,
ISC.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
They won a
yeah.
couple of world tournaments. And
Brubaker played for him, didn't he?
I
I think he
did
did.
they, Frankie?
In the ISC.
And the sponsor, whoever sponsored him, claimed he had the best fast pitch team in the country. Mr. Hurtt says, we got the best fast team in the country. So they had a meeting, and it kind of like proof of a World Series, We'd play there a few games, 3 games or so, and then they come play like 7-game series, to prove who was the best. And the ASA put the klapach on it, Bill. They didn't want that. That was the ISC, I think.
Yeah,
it
they
was
were
out there.
considered pro or
Yeah,
something.
we were ASA, and they stopped it, but
And
we
we were
were all
amateurs.
for it, to see who was the better team, yeah.
I think the ISC or ISA, whatever it was, they used to pay their ball players and, Seal Masters, they just gave us jobs, that's all. They didn't pay us, we just worked
Spending
for
money on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
So talk about playing in those championship games.
For, like the ASA tournaments, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on us because we expected to win, and I tell you, everybody was out to beat us, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of pressure. Very nervous, to start. I remember, at least I was, because you're always afraid, oh my God, am I going to be the one that blows this game or something, Sometimes you get tricky hops, not all good hops, and sometimes they're a little spin on the ball or something, and you didn't want to be the GOAT, because we were expected to win all the time. I think. What do you think, Chris?
And we did win most
Well,
of the
most
time.
of the time we did.
I think one
It
year,
was,
Bill.
we had the pitching,
Yeah.
and that meant a lot.
Oh, yeah, we had
Big
the
difference.
pitching. But one year, I think we were 94-6,
Yeah.
95-6 or something.
Yeah.
Mr. Hurtt was mad, we lost 6
Yeah.
games.
I couldn't
wanted
believe
to
it.
go-
And they were all on the road.
All the way through the
They
season.
were all on the road
undefeated.
and by one run. And we always thought we got screwed, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like a couple times they said we missed third base and scored.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't miss third base. Yeah.
That's impossible to go through a season undefeated because you don't know what's going to happen, So
Yeah.
you can
Well-
have an off game, an off day. And,
Right, and every place we went on the road, they were aiming for us, that was, beat the Seal Masters was a big thing, that made their season.
What's so interesting for me is because I've been researching you guys for so long, because ever since Harvey passed away, someone brought it up to me and they went, you should do a documentary on Aurora fast pitch softball.
Yeah.
Now that Harvey's passed away, wish we would have done it beforehand, but what's interesting to me is I got newspapers.com. You can sign up for a subscription, and you can view every newspaper across America. So in the 50s, I would type in Seal Masters, and I have all the articles that they used to write from those other cities about you guys.
Is that right?
About
Yeah.
Harvey,
Yeah.
and about Charlie pitching.
Yeah.
And you could, I think the unique thing for me and for people who might not, that may watch this, like the people who came and watched you guys, they're gonna love this. But the people that didn't come and watch, don't know about this, when they see what other cities thought about you guys, that's the amazing thing, because I have all the paper, I have all the paper articles.
Is that right?
And they are just,
Yeah.
they're like, you know, Seal Masters are coming, they would do it the day, 2 days before, Seal Masters are coming to town on Thursday, you know, we've gotta be ready for them. I mean, that's how powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a good one.
Hold on,
We-
let me look.
Month, because they have like 12 golf courses.
Hold on one sec, let Bill come in, I wanna
Okay.
make sure we get this on camera.
Okay.
Okay. Talk about me, I guess, I'll let you do it. Now that I'm here.
We stopped talking about you, Bill. You just came back, so we stopped talking
Frank's
about
got
you.
a story.
This is a little story. For the last probably 15 to 20 years, me and my wife go to Florida the month of February to a little town in between Venice and Fort Myers, Florida. It's called Englewood. The reason we go to Englewood is because, and it's just a little town, but it has like 12 golf courses within a 7-mile radius or something. And one time after golf and sitting around, going out to have dinner with some friends that I play golf with there, we're sitting at this table, and we hear a bunch of these old guys were at this table, and they play fast pitch after 40. They were all after 40 or after 45. But my wife, you know, her ears are a little bigger than mine, but she comes over to the table and she says, "You see all those guys over there?" And I says, "Yeah." He says, "They're talking about Harvey Sturkle." And I says, "You're kidding me." And she says, "No." So I went over there and I says, "You guys talking about Harvey Sturkle? I played with him." "Well, no, you didn't. Who are you?" And I said, "Frank Hurtt." And he said, "You're the shortstop." And all of a sudden I was in there with these guys. And then they said, "Wait, we got a game coming up and all that." And my wife said, "No, we're going home." "You're going home. We're keeping him here." He said, that was really something. I mean, in a little town, Englewood, Florida, and Harvey Sturkle they're talking about.
That was a nice write-up, or a picture of Harvey. Did you see it, Bill?
Yeah, I got it.
It was nice. We cut it, Frankie and I got a copy of it too. Super guy.
I've got, went to ask Gloria if I could have some of the books. They kept year after year, and
Yeah.
I've got most of them, and I gotta get some more. Keep up with all the stats and all
Yeah.
that.
I didn't know some of them things about Harv, about the music and composer, and I know he could sing, and then the barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
But I didn't know all the other things he did with the music.
Can you guys talk about Harvey as a ball player, as a person?
Oh, fantastic, man. You couldn't say anything bad about Harv.
No.
And in
10,
fact,
never, 10 plus,
when
10
we
plus.
used to be together or something, maybe we didn't like a guy on another team. We thought he was a little bit of a hot dog or something. And if Harv was there, and if you were talking bad about somebody, Harvey all of a sudden got away from you. Just, didn't say, "Hey, don't talk about it." He just left.
Good
He didn't want to hear anything bad about anybody.
Good Christian
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Really good. That's another thing. At this same town, for Valentine's Day, we used to go. We were in Florida. I think it's Valentine's Day in February, isn't it? But anyway, whatever day it is, and we used to go to this place to eat, and they had these. This one place we used to go, they had a barbershop quartet in there and all that. And I said, "Hey," I said, "any of you guys know Harvey?" And they all knew Harvey Sturkle. Here we are in Englewood, Florida, a little town, and they knew about Harvey Sturkle being a barber shopper and everything, and his pitching ability. just something, I'll tell
Well, they
you.
loved him there, even
Oh.
though he beat up on their teams
Yeah.
a number of times,
Yeah.
they loved him there.
Yeah.
Prince of a guy, I'll tell you that.
He couldn't make, one year he couldn't make the All-Star team, his arm was sore, and they were all looking for, I know the articles say, they were all looking for him and sad that he couldn't make that team.
I never heard him say anything bad about anybody, did you, B?
No, never. Well, yeah, there's something I could never understand, like Frankie was in Maywood or Forest Park.
Yeah.
Chrissy was down by playing with Decatur. I'm from Chicago, and all we had in Chicago was baseball and 16-inch, you know. That was popular in Chicago, and I lived right by Douglas Park, and I used to go with my Uncle Joe, Mom's brother. He played 16-inch on a team, and he was a good ball player. But I used to follow him, carry his bat, and it was popular. And sometimes on a weekend or so, you should see him lined up on left and right field lines for 16-inch, Bill. You know, and then baseball naturally, you know, high school and baseball teams. But I personally, I told Frankie this many times, I didn't know what fast pitch was until I come to Aurora. You know, I never saw fast pitch, you know, Bill. And I said, what a challenge it was, you know. I took batting practice off of Harvey. I got a few foul tips, a couple of ground balls, you know. And I thought, well, I thought I was a pretty good hitter, you know. And I'm below. Harvey says, you have to think high, Bobby. I said, think high? How do you think high? I mean, okay, I see I swing here, a ball's coming here, but I got to swing here. He said, think high.
Until he gets one of these.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking high, Bill, and it goes down. And Harvey, he wasn't a great, but you couldn't strike him out. He moved the ball somewhere because he was thinking his pitching was going into his hitting, Bill, you know, and he didn't strike out. He moved the ball. Maybe he didn't get a lot of hits, but he moved the ball. But I wish, I always told Frankie this in between two, that I wish I could have played top-notch fast pitch softball like we had a couple of years before baseball, Bill, because then the transition from baseball to fast pitch, you learn how to be a better hitter, a smarter hitter. You're seeing pitches that you never saw before baseball. Oh, I've seen some good baseball pitchers, you know, but you don't see a raised ball, you know. You see the curve, the slider, the change-up, you know, things like that, but you don't see a ball going. And I told Frankie, I don't think I was ever so embarrassed striking out in baseball, because 3 and 2, you can hang in there, foul one off, get a walk or get a hit or something, but you can hang in there. I never felt that good in fast pitch, because sometimes 3 swings and I'm back in the dugout. I said, was I even there, you know? Because they wipe you out right away. You just don't get the chance to foul, you know? You're boom, 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 you're out of there, you know? And you train yourself, Bill. I trained myself that if I had that softball experience of hitting, even though it's closer, baseball's further, the ball's smaller, I felt I was a better and a smarter hitter. And I could have taken that into baseball, and I think I could have been a better baseball player. That's all. I felt that way. And I didn't know what fast pitch was till I come to Aurora. They said, Marlene's, my wife's brother, Jim Godfrey, took me to a game. He said, did you hear about the Seal Masters? I said, no. And I just came to Aurora, you know. And they said, oh, it's the best team around. So I went with them and saw Harvey, and I saw the smaller field, the nice field, and I said, boy, this is nice. I was amazed at what the ball could do, Bill, just watching, you know.
You talk about the pace of the game. What was that like?
Well, it's quicker than hardball, much quicker, you know.
Yeah,
And 7 innings compared to 9.
yeah.
I want to throw one more thing in too that I just remembered about Harvey. After we were done playing ball and everything, I also was in Clearwater, Florida, and I ran into one of the better ball players that the Bombers used to have, in Ron Weathersby. And he told me something that I couldn't believe. That he says, you know, he says, Frank, he says, I'm going to tell you something. He says, you know, we all knew what Harvey was throwing and we couldn't hit him. And I said, what do you mean you knew what he was throwing? He says, when he presented, if you saw the thumb, it was a raised ball. If you didn't see the thumb, it was a drop ball. I says, you're kidding me. He says, no. And I think he had Kirkendall was there too, another guy. He says, ask Kirk. So I says, what about Harvey? And he looked at Weathersby and all that, and did you tell him the secret? And yeah, Weathersby says, they're done, and Harvey's done, we're not gonna face them no more. Same thing. If you saw the thumb, it was a raise. If you didn't see the thumb, it was a drop. And that was around, all them people, the better softball teams, like Clearwater, Ray Bessett and all that, they knew that. And they still didn't hit him. So how good was he? That's the truth. I mean, and stop and think back. And I told you guys about it. If you saw movies of Harvey or something, or just remember them, that thumb and that race ball was coming. But when you didn't see that thumb, it was a drop. I mean, this is looking back, and you're thinking, geez, God, that's right. And you see pictures of Harvey, and you'll see him like this. Still pictures, that thumb, well, you do a race ball. He must have been going to throw a race ball then. But isn't that something? That was really something to hear from the Bombers, and, how when they ever did hit them or get a piece of them, they knew it was coming.
Frankie, what year was it in Clearwater when the pitchers had a meeting at home here before we went to the World Tournament on who should start pitching?
Yeah.
Joe,
Joe
and Joe was going great that whole year, and they said, well, Joe, let Joe start, so Joe, I think we won it in 5 games, Bill.
Yeah.
Joe was undefeated, but we had Charlie Richard warming up on the outfield.
Yeah.
Spring warming up in the outfield.
And
Harvey's out there, and Joe was starting the game, and other teams were looking and saying,
We don't know whether to get a hit off him or not.
Look what we got out there, just ready. When they had maybe one ace, and they wore the guy out. They wore his arm out with the one ace they got. They had to go almost every game. But they were looking, I said, wow, what a staff we had.
In '65, he didn't lose the game.
No. Joe?
Joe
Yeah.
won all 5 at the
I
end.
think so, Billy.
Right through him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had one 1-0 game against Clearwater, didn't we? Or we beat them in the finals, or we put them in the loser's bracket and then we beat them at the end too, yeah.
But and I said, and I was asked we were walking through, and they said, who's your best pitcher, number 1? I said, I play behind them. They're all number 1s.
Yeah.
There's not 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all 1s, and I feel great with any one of them pitching, Bill. That's how I felt. All of us felt that.
Yeah, remember Benedict was our catcher. And when Spring would pitch, Benedict would put down 1, Spring, no, 2, 3, 4, no. Benedict would go out and say, what? I only got so many fingers and all. Spring had, 10 pitches or something like that?
He's the one pitcher I thought had the most
Oh,
pitches.
God.
Johnny Spring.
Yeah.
And he made the ball move good.
He had a
wasn't-
glove
Yeah.
that he had this rosin in there.
Yeah.
And he could get that fast 12-inch and put grooves in that ball.
It was like sandpaper. his
Yeah.
stuff. 2 pieces of leather like
Oh,
sandpaper.
yeah, he was something.
And that ball was dark in no time.
And then remember, anytime there was a man on third, he never did trust Benedict. So he'd pitch, and then he'd come walking all the way in and get the ball from Benny. He didn't want Benny to throw it back to him. Figured Benny might throw one wild or something.
He had a low raise, a high raise, a hook, a curve, a drop. Gee, oh my.
You don't remember Spring that much, do you, Billy?
Well, he's
Oh,
retired.
God.
Yeah.
Gee. He'd throw those pitches in batting practice, remember?
He was tough.
Boy, it'd be like a curveball and hardball. Gee.
I remember one game in Michigan, talking about Harvey pitching. Harvey hit up, they had there's no fence and the lights. Harvey hit one out and disappeared, and the outfielder disappeared. And Harvey
threw
was
him out
running
at
up
third.
that. Pretty soon he came back, and Harvey was throwing out at home plate.
That was
He
in
hit
Detroit.
that ball a mile.
That was in Detroit,
Yeah,
Chrissy,
that's
Detroit.
right.
Yeah.
Well, the
It
left
wasn't in the
fielder went out of
darkness.
sight.
And he goes
Out
to
of
first
sight.
base. I said, "Oh, but look at boy, the Harvard. He's going through a little lower, getting lower. Second round and third, his knees are almost up his chin. And what they throw him out at the plate.
They
Huh?
threw him out the plate.
He's getting lower and lower.
Oh,
I
God.
never
Oh,
forget that.
Yeah, I thought he had a home run, but open field.
Well,
it
the
was.
left fielder disappeared.
Yeah.
4 relays and
He
they
didn't
got
make it. He didn't make it. No. Yeah, that was. I remember that, Chrissy. Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, what about some of the guys you played against? You know, the Walkers and the.
He was-
You know,
He was the
Carl
best,
and-
one of the best hitters we ever faced. Him and
Can
Weathersby.
you
I
say
think.
his name, just so we have it?
Yeah,
Carl.
Carl Walker.
Carl Walker and Ron Weathersby, I think were the best we have ever played against, right?
Yeah, Walker was.
Walker, yeah, I remember that Lynch
And a nice guy.
throwing him raised balls, and I remember he threw him a raised ball and he hit one 9 miles foul, and I went in, I called timeout, I went into Joe, I said, don't throw that guy a raised ball. Damn you, go back and play short. Joe used to get mad at me because I was trying to tell him what to do. So Joe threw him another raised ball and he tore the center field scoreboard off. Remember, he hit one so hard up there, it knocked all the runs or the zeros that were on that scoreboard off there.
He was the only one where I played
Yeah.
deep second base. I moved back when he was a tough hitter.
Like Harvey, he was a hell of a nice guy.
Yes.
Carl, did you
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
talk with him? And-
Yes. Very nice,
Very
Bill.
awesome
Very
guy.
nice.
And Weathersby, the same thing.
Yeah.
They were about the two best hitters I think that we faced, you know? I don't remember anybody any better.
Yeah, Frankie, you know who I thought was a good hitter? Chris did too, and you did too. The catcher for St. Louis. We thought
Dick
we would.
Farr.
Oh, yeah.
Dick Farr.
Yeah, he was
He was a
tough.
good hitter.
Yeah, we thought remember we were getting, a rumor was we were getting somebody from St. Louis and all that, and we figured, oh boy, we're gonna get him.
We're gonna get him.
Yeah, and we got
Happy Cox.
Happy Cox.
Who's Happy Cox?
Who's that? Yeah, we didn't remember. Well, Harvey says he couldn't throw the ball by him. That's why we got him. That's what Harv said. We found out, remember? Harv said, I can't throw the ball by him. He hits everything I throw.
He didn't help us at all.
No.
We gave him a new name too, Bill. We called him the Smiling Penis. You can cut that, Kev.
Oh, God. But that's the truth, yeah.
You can cut that. So we thought we were getting the catcher. Nice, yeah. We liked him. He was
Yeah.
nice, built nice.
Yeah,
nice
he would have
looking.
fit right in.
He could
Nice
hit-
guy.
He could hit the ball pretty good, yeah.
We get Happy Cox.
Seen a lot of good ball players with other teams and nice guys.
Who was the toughest pitcher each one of you faced?
All of them.
Harv,
Frankie was talking about that in the car. I
Yeah.
said, what if they ask us questions? Who's the I said, all of them.
that's right.
We didn't, yeah, especially the ones who struck us out 3-4 times
But
a game, Bill.
because I played with Forest Park a couple of games. So I
Those are the
faced
tough
Harv.
ones.
But there was a lot of good ones. Nuremberg was good. Metro Zurich was good. Weldon Haney was good.
Yeah.
That was a lot of good ones. And it seems like we always got their top pitcher too, because, you know, we were considered a pretty good ball club ourselves. And wherever we went, we'd get their best, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Ace against ace, yeah.
nicknames. How did we all get our nicknames here?
You talk about that, Chris. I'm not saying anything about Beaver. They'll have to cut the whole thing out. I tell them how you.
These two are the reason I was named, Mom.
Frankie will tell you about it.
What? Twinkle Toes?
You named him Twinkie.
One time we were playing, and God, I can't remember who it was, but I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't in a tournament or nothing like that. But I think Billy Dixon got hurt, or they took him out or something, and I think Cliff Smith, our manager, says, "Who can play first base?" Chris, I can play first base. Okay, Chrissy will put, I think we were winning 10-0 or something anyway. So we put Chris over there, and I get a nice one hopper, you know, where I closed my eyes and I caught it, and I thought, oh, I got plenty of time. And I throw one over, and I give Chrissy a good shot right here, and he was tiptoeing around. The guy was safe. He missed the base. So I started calling him Twinkle Toes, you know.
That's his side of the story.
I knew this was
I was
going.
playing first base and he threw the ball before I had a chance to get over there.
You're lucky you didn't get hit in the head.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, twinkle toes. That stuck too, did it, Twink?
Yeah.
And then the beaver, you want to tell them how we gave him the name Beaver?
How did I get the name Beaver?
We better not have to cut the whole thing, you know that?
Well, I had that in high school too. They called me Beaver. I was always the dirtiest uniform in the dirt all the
It
time.
wasn't because of the uniform.
Yeah.
But you just had, this guy had to put his arms around you two, right? That's where I got the nickname, right?
I had to watch these guys all the time. But
Yeah, not you, yeah.
Chrissy and Frankie, I had to watch them all the time.
Oh, God, he got
You
us.
never knew what to expect. Every night was something different.
Fire alarms used to go off in the middle of the night. Everybody's out of the hotel but Beaver, he's sleeping, so we knew who said it.
The best one of the best ones though he did. We were in St. Louis and we were on the second floor.
Oh, yeah.
And we got out after the game, we were back at the rooms and Beaver loaded up a waste paper basket with water.
A big one.
And this guy was
Hardly
coming
carry it.
down the sidewalk.
Yeah, but
He
tell
had
him
a
that's when...
cigar in his mouth.
No, tell him long hair just come out too, and he had real long hair.
And
A white
it
sport
must have
coat
been
on,
the wedding or
waiting.
something because he was all dialed up and everything and Beaver let it go and it just drowned
Hit
him.
him.
We
He
were on
looked
the
up and he
second
said,
floor.
"You
Yeah.
son of a," and the cigar was
Yeah.
down here, and his hair was like this. So he comes, we see the Beaver, I was rooming with Beaver at this time, okay? When he did it. Chrissy was next door with Lynch. And we come out a little later after everything was over, and we see the footprints coming all the way up, and Beaver put the empty bucket in front of Chrissy's door, of course. This guy pounds on the door and all that, and Chrissy comes there, he's got his shorts on, you know, and,
With these,
what do you want?
with the-
Oh,
look-
nothing.
Look at
he
these
says.
claws. Look at like shaking hands with a bear.
That was a good one.
I could have been a bombardier on an airplane. What a bullseye. And his hair is down
And
all
that,
barrel.
that
and
guy
cigarette.
looked up and boom, it hit him. You son of a, and that was it.
I said, I'm going to bed.
He throws the empty bucket in front of Chris's room, so that guy says, well, this is the guy. Where was it? Outside the door. Chrissy comes over, knocks on our door. What did you guys do, Beavers? Whatever, Chris. I've been sleeping. I don't know what happened. Oh, boy.
The other one was Hayward, when you took Smitty's furniture and put it out of the,
Oh, yeah. Beaver?
We emptied his room.
and then on his mirror, Phantom. Right? Go ahead, tell the story.
And then down in Mexico, the world tournament down there. We were up in, I don't know what
Oh, yeah.
floor we were on, but they had this big open space in the middle. And Beaver filled up balloons with water and he carried them. And anyway, he threw one out the window and there's a truck down there. And it hit the cat on the truck and
The
just
hood, yeah.
bent that thing.
I had
Here we were 90
firecrackers
floors
too.
up for
I had firecrackers too.
Oh, God. But tell them the other one, Beav, you were going to tell them about yourself.
Which one?
I don't know which one. You were just going to say something before Christmas.
Well, Bill, I didn't mind. I was an instigator and all that.
He kept us all
Yes,
loose.
he was.
Yeah, I kept them loose, Bill.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, I didn't mind getting blamed for the things I did, but anything else that happened, I got blamed for that anyway. And I said, no, I'm innocent this time, you know. But most of the time I was guilty, Bill.
Yeah.
You kept us loose, is right.
So as you guys look back on playing, you guys pitched softball, and if you guys can all go down the line, what does it mean to you?
Wonderful memories, Kev.
Yeah.
Memories. They'll pop in our head sometimes at home or somewhere when I see these guys. Just we relate back to the years we had together, and it was great.
Yeah, we get together quite a bit. Not as much lately as we
With the
used to,
virus,
but
yeah.
and we'd reminisce and tell stories and laugh. And have a couple beers, and, you know, just a good time.
50-some years.
Yeah, marriages, some marriages don't last this long, right?
No.
And we were local, Kev, we were local. Then it started to change, Billy knows too. When they started getting them from Canada, Billy, or New Zealand, or you know,
South America,
yeah, you know,
Europe.
paying them, you know, and it kind of took something away. And well, pitchers, yeah, if you're gonna have a good team, you gotta have a good pitching, you know. But it's changed some. And they were good pitchers from different countries. They were good.
So switch here. Playing at SA Field, what was that like? The atmosphere, the fans, the competition there, what was that like?
It was, the ballpark was just, I heard one time that we always played double headers there. And I had heard one time, I don't know if this was true or not, but between games, Mr. Hurtt used to send the little kids that were there, you know, send them out there, and if they found a rock, he'd give them a nickel for every stone that they found in that infield. That's what I heard, and I don't know if that was true or not, but it probably was, because it was just
That
beautiful
was
to
his
feel.
field. That was his field. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But one thing I remember though, and I don't know if you guys remember this, I think the fans, we were playing somebody, and we had a full house, and and it was very windy, that particular doubleheader. And a lot of the fans, or adults that were in the stands, mostly women, I guess, complained about the dust flying around. So I had heard that Mr. Hurtt knew Steinbrenner real well from the Yankees. I heard this. Now, I don't know if it was true or not. But the reason I'm going to say this is because I heard Mr. Hurtt called up Steinbrenner and said, "What do you use on Yankee Stadium when it's windy to keep the dust down?" And evidently he told him about this stuff, and you guys will remember. We went out to play the next weekend, and this field was black and everything, and we were noticing, geez, no dust or nothing, you know, but God, you know, our hands were all black and like they put oil all over the field. And I'll tell you, our uniforms were so dirty. We didn't have any dust storms or anything, but our pants and everything about us was so dirty. And he had bought something that Steinbrenner told him to, but I guess they put too much on there, you know. They didn't have a happy medium of it, and it was just too much, because we didn't have any dust, did we? We had black soot all over us. That's one thing I remember about Mr. Hurtt. Had to be the best, I'll tell you, and it was.
If we had a good team coming in on the weekends, Bill, Mr. Hurtt would make us go out practice, you know, during the week a couple of times, or one or two times, and so we'd be out there, and Frank, you know, we'd be out there, we'd be in the concessions eating ice cream cones, candy bars, and we'd have somebody with Jackie Proctor or something.
Jackie Proctor would be up in the phone booth, up in the booth up there.
Here comes the old man.
No,
We're starting throwing the ball
maybe
around,
we had
you know.
hangovers or something, and we didn't want to work. We wanted to go out. It was a nice day, you know.
come
So we
and
said,
check.
"Mr. Hurtt, do you think you can get a pitcher out there? We're having trouble hitting the Rays ball or something." We'd make up something. Oh yeah, definitely. Anything for the ball club. So what we did is we got out there, we're all laying in the outfield, you know, and sleeping, and we had Jackie Proctor up in the booth there, and we said, "Jackie, now you see the old man coming, put the national anthem on." Boy, here comes the national. We all jumped up, started throwing the ball around. Sure enough, Mr. Hurtt was over there making sure that we could hit the Rays ball, and we were doing what we were supposed to.
That was these two guys. They worked in the office. Some of us had to work.
You couldn't get out of the factory.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What was the other good time? Oh, I got to throw this one in. We were going on a road trip, 2-week road trip. We used to go on a 2-week road trip, bus trip. And the bus come in there by the ballpark, and the plant, Mr. Hurtt's office, was right across the street. So Leroy, Hess, and everybody were all there. And the bottom, I remember Roppy, and we're loading all this beer and everything, putting all the beer in the bus, the bottom of the bus. And Mr. Hurtt comes, "You got room for the bats and balls?" Remember that one?
Joker's filling up a tin can with beer, you know.
Oh, God.
And one time when we had a bus going and Harvey was late, Roppy was, Don Ropp was the third baseman, heck of a ball player. He was the captain of the team too. And everybody's on the bus waiting. Roppy says, "We ain't going nowhere without the horse."
That's right.
Harvey the horse. "We ain't going nowhere. We wait for the horse." Yeah.
Who gave him that nickname?
I don't
We
know.
all did.
I think we all did, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, we all
Give it
did.
to the horse.
Yeah.
Harvey the Horse Sturkle.
We all had nicknames somehow. Frankie didn't have a nickname.
I remembered old Roppy, what a great ball player he was and everything. And then when I first come here and I was playing short, and any ball that was hit up in the air, Roppy used to, "Hurtt!" He'd yell my name. I guess Roppy couldn't lift his head up or something, but he hated those high pop-ups, you know. As soon as that ball went up, it'd be right by third base and all, and he'd say, "Frank!" and he'd yell, because remember that? He hated them pop-ups, you know.
And then this one time we were on a field, on a trip, you remember, it was no man's land, some little burg, I forget where it was. We stopped and got out, and this guy said, "Smitty."
No, Joker.
He knew Joker.
We were in
And
the
it
middle of
just-
nowhere.
It was Joker.
New Schmitty.
Smith.
What we drove him nuts. And Betty said, his wife Betty said,
Loved every minute.
"But you guys tore him apart. You did everything to him, and he loved it. He loved it. He'd give you that catcher's mitt face, you know. He had a face like an old catcher's mitt, you know. And we do tricks on him like crazy. He was great.
About the time we come back, it was midnight, and they put the lights on and that, because Benedict was saying he had a better arm
Kinder.
than Joker.
Kinder, Frankie,
George Kinder, yeah.
from
So
California.
we put the lights on, it must have been 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, put the lights on at the ballpark, and Schmitty had a bunch of balls, and George Kinder had a bunch of balls, and we put a barrel on second base. When Schmitty threw them, they were all right in the barrel. Kinders were out center field, right field, left field.
2 in the morning, we're watching him throw.
We're out seeing who's the best catcher. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We would throw he'd be coaching third base, we would throw firecrackers up in the, where he got it marked off with the chalk, he'd be jumping.
One time we threw a tire out there, didn't we?
Oh.
Didn't we roll a tire out there on him?
I don't know, Billy, but.
How about the time you nailed his locker shut
Yeah.
with the,
With the big spikes.
yeah. Schmitty come in, took one look at it, went home in his uniform, come back the next day. He wasn't gonna pull all the spikes out.
We nailed his
Not
boot
we,
shut.
you.
Yeah, well, thick plywood. He just looked at it and he walked out with his uniform on.
Beaver, he says. Oh, boy.
We had a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt.
No. And we never had any fights between us. I couldn't figure that one out, you know. Spending as much time together as we did, and we all got along. Unbelievable. Some
Except
marriage-
I'll never forget the first night, my first time we were here, and we were out, all of us, had a few pops, and we got in an argument or something, and Frank and I he disagreed with what I said or something, and I said, "We want to go outside and settle this, you know." Right away, he got,
That was coming back from Stoney's.
yeah.
You were wrong. I was right. Huh, Beav?
I was referee.
You were the ref.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had fun in the clubhouse.
Fun
after
and
the
we
game.
won.
But
didn't help.
when we went on the field, though, we were all business on the
Yeah, yeah.
field.
After a
Yeah.
while, if you're on losing teams, you're starting to.
Yeah, yeah.
Billy, yeah.
And,
But as much as we clowned around and everything, and we still won, you know, I mean, that's how good our pitching was.
Because you had each other's back.
Yeah, other teams envied us just coming to the ballpark, looking how nice the field was, how we're fortunate to be on a field playing like this at our own field, and the pitching we had, and like Billy said, you got to have pitching, but you also got to get some runs too, huh, Bill?
Yeah,
You know.
sure.
So, but they looked at our field because you don't know what kind of a rock pile they played on, Kev, you know. because when we traveled sometimes on the trips, we played on them rock piles. We said, wow, we appreciated our field more, Bill.
Scrape yourself up,
Yeah.
sliding into some of those bases and scraping
Yeah.
yourself up on some of those
Yeah.
infields.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on SA field, but I kind of want to get the feeling of, like you even said, when other teams came into play, you had a beautiful field. You also had amazing fans.
Yeah.
Talk about those fans and what it was like to play in front of them
Yeah.
and what teams must have thought, because they're into the game 100%.
Yeah, well, what was nice, Kev, is there was no admission. Mr. Hurtt let them in for nothing. You paid for the concessions, hot dogs, popcorn, candy, ice cream, all that, you know. And he had Jackie Proctor, Sam Bedrosian, he had them work on the field all the time, Bill, you know, all the time. He wanted
Ray
to have
Anderson.
top shape for the weekends. We played the better teams on
Yeah.
the weekends. And we'd have a local team come in on, or play a local Wednesday night or something like that, you know. Yeah, the field was immaculate. I remember one time I was there, Frankie and Chrissy weren't there yet, they came later, but I don't think they were there. But we had a team coming in, I don't know if it was Detroit or what, but Sam was working on the field, you know, and somehow he didn't cover it up. We had some rain and he didn't cover it up, and there were some bad spots on the field. I saw Mr. Hurtt in the clubhouse chewing his butt out just because he didn't put that tarp on right away, and we were playing kind of some spotty places, you know. So Mr. Hurtt chewed him out good. I remember that.
You know, the thing that I remember once, I just wanted to say too, about when we were, you know, we're ball players and we're working at the plant, and we had pretty good jobs. We didn't have to run a machine or anything where we could get injured, but we were in mostly quality control, checking bearings to make sure machines were running right. And some of these people that were running these machines, if you shut them down, they used to blame us, and because they made more money on the more that the machine produced. But I remember a guy coming in, I don't want to mention his name or nothing, but really complaining about that the ball players that got it made and all that. And I said, hey, wait a minute. I said, I want to ask you one thing. I says, every game we play on weekends, I always see you and your family there. I said, it don't cost you nothing. I says, you know, my parents have a boat and a cottage up at the Channel Lakes. I said, Saturday and Sunday, I can't go up there on a weekend and use that boat or go fishing or nothing. I said, I got to be out there for you guys on weekend. And he looked at me and he says, you know, he says, you're right. I said, you come there, it don't cost you nothing to get in. You got all your kids and everything. Your popcorn's a nickel a bag, and it's the best popcorn you ever had. Pop is a nickel and all that, and if you don't have it, Mr. Hurtt would probably give it to you, the kids and all that. And I said, so, and I'll tell you, that guy never said anything bad about the ball team again, just because of that. But it really got me mad, you know that? Because I did. I wasn't lying. My parents did have a summer home up there, and weekends I was done. You know, I couldn't go up there and use the boat or go fishing or nothing. I was playing ball.
Yeah, because the team was so good, the season was always extended
Yeah,
to September after Labor Day weekend, you know.
Right,
It was a.
And we didn't get
number of months.
vacation, because our vacation, we played ball, right?
Yeah, you know.
We didn't get 2 weeks off or anything like the people in the shop and that.
But as a player, I think you just got up more when you saw the fans.
Well,
load-
that's true.
load- The
Yeah.
stands
Good
were
fans.
all full and everything. It
Yeah.
just gives you a little more incentive, I think, to try to do the best you can for the fans.
Then regional
And
time, Bill,
They were really
they were
great.
lined up, regional time, twinkle down left
Yeah,
field
and
line,
regionals,
right
they
field
had to
line,
pay to get
two,
in there.
three,
It wasn't
2, 3
much, but
deep.
they had to pay.
Yeah.
2, 3 deep, yeah, down the lines. We had big crowds.
I mean, evidently it was entertaining because we had good crowds. And of course, you got good crowds and it's easier to play in front of, instead of nobody, you know.
I think baseball found out this year too, the players, you know, they said it isn't the same as
Yeah.
without fans.
No,
you
of
know.
course not.
If you see the stadium loaded,
Yeah.
you're ready to play, you want to do your best, but if there's nobody there, it isn't the same. And I think they A lot of them said so this year,
I
too.
watched a couple of games, Bill, you know, and they got the cardboard pictures in the back there. I said, I know some of them people. I know some of them people, them cardboard people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, Bill, not at all.
But then SA Field, you'd walk in and you'd smell popcorn
Yeah.
and
Rocks.
cigar smoke.
Cigar
When I
smoke.
first started watching steel matches in the mid-50s, that's what you'd smell. when you
Yeah.
come in, 'cause they'd
Yeah,
sit there
you were
behind-
watching them
behind
that
the home
early,
plate,
Bill? You were
know?
watching them that early in the 50s? Yeah,
My dad and I used to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
When did, Harvey came in
56.
56, huh? Then they started building up to the good, getting better and better and better, huh? 56. And he was pitching in Colorado, wasn't he?
Denver, right outside of,
Yeah.
yeah.
He told me, it was hard to believe, Bill, but he said his brother taught him how to pitch. I don't.
Said his brother was better than him, remember?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
it's
hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, but his brother taught him how, and his brother could have pitched elsewhere too, but he stayed local, wanted to stay home, didn't want to go, you know, with a big team. But it's hard to believe, he said his brother was better than him.
I gotta say this about Harv too. My first year in a world tournament, I came here in
64.
'64, and I didn't play in the world tournament that year. I played all summer, and I was a little upset. I said, why was I playing all year and everything, and then the world tournament, they benched me. What did I do wrong? Beaver said, first year, you don't do that. You know, you don't play in a world tournament. You know, you gotta sit out a year. Remember you said that to me?
Yeah, I
Said,
couldn't
don't take
play,
it
yeah.
bad. But anyway, what I wanna say is, the next year then, '65, I remember I'm out there, and we're at the hotel and everything, and I come out, and Harvey stopped me, and Harvey's uniform was on backwards, his socks were on back, and he's shaking. He said, "Now, I don't want you to be nervous." He said, "You're starting at short tonight." And he said, "You know, just play like you play." And he's shaking and all that, and I'm looking at him, and his socks were on backwards, and his shirt had the Seal Masters in the back and a number in the front and everything. And I'm looking, I said, "Geez, Harv," I says, I'm all right, believe me." He said, no, it's your first time, you know. I'll never forget
Yeah,
this.
see, Harvey, I said, where did this pumpkin come from? Where the shirt's on wrong, it's not tucked in, the socks.
God.
I said, where did he come from? Until he threw the ball, Bill.
Then the one year on the trip, we went to Denver and played at the stadium. They made the
Yeah, the
field
stadium.
at the stadium, and he had a big crowd for Harvard.
Yeah, where the football team played, we
Yeah.
played, yeah.
Yeah.
Homecoming for Harvey Sturkle, that was something.
You can make 3 errors behind him,
Yeah.
and he'd just say, "Bobby, give me the ball," you know. And didn't ever get mad, you know, and nothing, and just give me the ball.
Glory told me that when they came to Aurora, Bob was just 1 year old or something. Bobby was just a baby. You know?
Yeah.
And Gloria told me that they were only planning to stay until Bob was in
School or something.
school, and they were going to go home.
Yeah. You're right, right.
That was the plan.
Yeah,
So he was only going to be sticking around for
You don't-
5 years or something.
yeah.
You don't think
That changed.
Mr. Hurtt would have let Harvey get out of here, do you? Oh, God.
I don't know who found Harvey.
Chick,
Chick was.
I heard Chick.
Chick Walsh.
That's
He
what I
You
heard.
gotta remember, from 50, for the first national tournament for the Steam Masters was 50, they didn't qualify for another 5 years.
Is that
So
right?
they had time to go.
Yeah,
you know,
Chick
and
was-
They saw him.
Chick
So-
Walsh was our manager when I first came, and he was the head of quality control or
Yeah.
something, and there was something in Denver, Colorado, and I remember he said he was at the hotel, and some guy come in and said, he says, "Anybody fans of fast pitch softball?" And Chick says, "Well, yeah, I watch it and all that." And they got a guy out there that's supposed to be pitching tomorrow night. He pitched tonight. He says, "I saw him." I said, "They didn't touch him." And Chick says, "Oh, is that right?" You know, big joke. And Chick wasn't even going to go there, he told me. And he thought, well, I better check it out. I'm not doing anything anyway. And he saw him, and right away he said, called up Mr. Hurtt. He says, "Hey, I found somebody here. We better get him in Aurora." And that's what happened, I
I
guess.
think Harvard's pitching for his Denver team in the Nationals up in Detroit.
Is that what it
Of
was?
course, and of course, like you said, the SEALs hadn't qualified, so they went up there.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's what it was,
And they
yeah.
watched
But it was Chick
They
that
were
found
look-
him. I
Yeah, they were
think.
looking,
Yeah.
looking, and there Harvey was pitching in
Yeah.
that tournament. And
Yeah.
then they got a hold of him.
Some guy told Chick Walsh or something. I think Chick was at a convention or something, and he said, geez, he says, do you know anything about fast pitch softball? And Chick said, a little, and all that. And he said, well, there's a guy out there pitching. He's gonna be pitching tomorrow.
You wanna see him?
You ought to take a look at him. And Chick says, what the heck, I'll do it. On the phone, hey, we got something out here.
Frankie, didn't Chick find Joe too in the Navy or coming out of the
I don't
Navy?
remember, I
He was
remember.
pitching,
Yeah,
in
Great
Chicago.
Lake.
Yeah, I went to
Lakes.
Gray's Lake with him.
They
I
went-
went
they
with
went
Chick
over
and
to watch
Harvey,
him.
yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
was at, yeah.
Great Lakes.
Yeah,
Great
Chick,
Lakes.
I
Well,
remember.
He wasn't stationed there, I think he was pitching there.
Right, it was an all
Yeah.
Navy tournament,
Yeah.
yeah, in Great Lakes, yeah. Because I remember Chick asked me to go. He probably asked you guys to go, but you guys had something to do. And he says, me and Harvey are going to go down and look at some talent down there. And I says, well, I don't care. I ain't doing nothing. I'll go. And we saw Joe. Joe looked pretty tough.
Yeah, Joe could bring it. And then when he went to Clearwater, when SEAL Masters ended there, in '69, well, that was the last year, Joe went to Clearwater. huh,
Right,
Frankie?
yeah.
They changed, and we went down there and we faced Joe.
Yeah.
They made him all drops, Billy. He
Yeah.
was we couldn't believe it because he had the good raise. When we faced him, he was throwing all drops.
Changed his delivery, his
They were
setup
doing
and everything.
something to Joe down there in the Clearwater. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he used to hold the ball off to the side and then come. Because Clearwater was great for picking pitchers, They'd watch a pitcher. I guess Weathersby was good at it, or no, Dougie Mason was good at that. Looking at a pitcher, he could tell what he was throwing, a raise or a drop. So when we went and played Joe, we remember Joe started like this, and then he'd present the ball. So Joe must have been doing something too that Clearwater knew about that. We never knew about.
Must have forgotten how to throw a raised ball.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, because he
was
became a
different.
drop ball pitcher, yeah. And he had a good raise. Baby Huey, we called him, right?
He was superstitious. He'd hang his, right, Frankie?
Oh, God.
He'd hang his glove on
Oh,
one hook in the
brother.
dugout, on one hook.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
say,
tell that
Here,
story.
watch this here. So I take his glove and I put on another hook. And he comes in the dugout, Joe's a big guy, comes in the dugout.
That was the end of his no-hitter too, remember?
Beaver, I said, hey, I am getting blamed for everything around here. I didn't touch it. Nobody touches my glove. And then he'd step off, from the pitcher's mound, he'd step over the third base foul line, fair line. He was superstitious. And then put his glove, I take the glove again, and hide it on him or on another hook.
How about the time you threw it at him when he was coming in off of first base, hit him in the chest and he
said,
walked right over.
I'm going to squash you like a bug. I'll squash you like a bug. And after the game, I said, you can't, you couldn't catch me. He was chasing me around the field. I'll squash you like a bug. Yeah. He was chasing me around the field.
Oh, boy.
That was we had fun.
Yeah.
And if I got in trouble, like my two bodyguards took care of it, well. Twinkie and Frankie were my bodyguards.
What, do we wanna let Chrissy go and then you wanna talk to?
Yeah, I better go.
Steve?